We've all known at some point in our lives, I can guarantee you, someone like Elon Musk, not of course, the richest man in the world. We don't all know that type of person, but we all know that person at some point in our lives, or we have seen someone shoot their mouth off. When they felt sort of invincible, completely invulnerable, they've shot their mouth off, and then all of a sudden, reality kicks in. Reality very, very, very much kicks in. We've all either seen that happen, or we've known someone that has happened to, and in a it's a wonderful Schadenfreude moment. We tried to warn you, but it happened, type of thing. And Elon Musk keeps on doing and saying these types of things like, "Oh, America should invade Britain." He wants to overthrow our government, which we'll be getting into in a moment. But also stuff that's been going on in Germany. He had a discussion with like one of the Germany's not an ADF person. I think it was Sarah Valke Connect or something like that. Her name is. Yeah, went pretty wild, went pretty off the rails almost instantly. But there you go. Weird conversation. Look it up. It's a wild ride. I'm pretty sure there are highlight clips of it somewhere on YouTube. But yeah, pretty wild. But it is getting to a point where Elon Musk, sooner or later, I think, is going to say something, and then there is going to be some sort of reaction. At that point, that is when reality comes striking in, and that reality will probably be in the form of EU regulation. We may even see our own government say, "Right, that's it. Enough is enough. We're banning X." Like I say, depends on the scenario. I am thinking that Elon Musk, because he keeps on saying these things, because he keeps on ratcheting up this stuff, sooner or later he's going to say something. There's going to be some sort of reaction maybe from that, and at some point the government's going to have to step in and say, right, enough is enough. Be that either us in the UK, our own government here, or maybe even in the EU, because they were already looking at putting restrictions on X prior to the previous EU elections that took place. I don't know if they're still going to go ahead with all that stuff. They may very well. And of course, other countries may decide to do stuff as well. Germany might decide, right, we're going to go into an election next year. We're worried about the over influence that Elon Musk is going to have in our elections. Germany might decide we're going to bring in some new rules so that Musk doesn't have, or at least can, use his influence on this type of stuff. Because we've seen, for example, he has been artificially boosting right-wing parties online. This is something that we warned about a couple of months ago about should Labour remain on X or should they leave and just leave the platform. It's a difficult decision, but if you are already being artificially pushed down by someone like Elon Musk, at that point, that I really do believe is the point where our government should sort of step in and bring regulations in against Elon Musk. Very, very much so. And like I say, after this is what he said, that he has openly discussed ways to now oust our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. That is a lot of undue influence. That was a lot of undue influence going on here. And I think there just comes a point where Labour has to do something. That they will just have to do something. I think they are, at the moment, just as you see a lot with stuff with Donald Trump, just going, haha, yeah, funny joke. However, there comes a point where it stops being a joke. I think we're getting to that point now, especially if you've seen this, that we've had reports from now the Financial Times that Musk actually wants to oust Starmer before the next election. Like, that is worrying. That should concern everyone in the UK, regardless of your thoughts on Starmer, that someone like Elon Musk wants to use his wealth and his influence to oust Starmer. I don't care what you think about Keir Starmer, whether you love him, hate him, etc. You should be appalled at that idea that someone like Elon Musk has had open conversations about this. That should worry you for the state of our democracy. So before we go into this, please remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button down below. There's links to my Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So let's crack on then into this. This coming from Reuters. Musk discussed ways to oust British PM Starmer before the next election, Financial Times has reported. So, Billionaire Elon Musk has held private discussions with allies about removing the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer from his position before the next general election. The Financial Times reported on Thursday. Musk, one of the world's richest persons, and of course close ally of US President-elect Donald Trump, last month endorsed the German anti-immigration party ahead of its elections slated in February, and has now repeatedly commented on British politics, demanding Prime Minister Keir Starmer resign. Musk has been wielding how he now and his allies can destabilize the Labour government, and has now sought information about building support for alternative British political movements to force a change in government, the report said, citing people familiar with this matter. Again, as I've said before, doesn't matter what you think about Keir Starmer, what you think about Labour, or anything like this. You should be appalled. You should be appalled that someone like Musk is having this type of conversations, wanting to wield his power, his wealth, his influence against our government. Now, bear in mind, if this had happened, maybe a couple of months ago, and Rishi Sunak was in his power, would you say, "Oh, are you still talking? Would you still be against this?" Yes, I absolutely would, because that is not how democracy should act. Just because Elon Musk doesn't like someone and thinks, right, I'm just going to remove you and get rid of you. Yeah, not how democracy should work. Not how it should work. And regardless of what a party affiliation or whatever you are, if you're in the UK, you should be looking at this and you should be like, no, that is against our democracy. That goes against everything we fundamentally believe in the UK and how our democracy operates and functions. So Musk didn't immediately respond to a Reuters request for comment outside of regular business hours. His views is that Western civilization itself is threatened. One person was, of course, quoted as telling the FT. Musk earlier accused Starmer that he said he was a failure, of course, to prosecute the gangs of men who raped young women when he was the public director of prosecutions between 2008 and 2013. Starmer subsequently defended his work as the British top prosecutor. And remember, one of the prosecutors who came out, who was in charge of going after those people, said it was because of Starmer, who changed the rules, who allowed those prosecutions to go ahead. Under Starmer, prosecutions doubled. Like, once again, he is buying into this false right-wing narrative because he has been radicalized by these people. We've said it before, he has been radicalized by his own algorithm. Separately, Musk is also scheduled to host, again, this is what we talked about at the beginning, host the Alternative for Germany party leader Alice Weldon in a live interview on X on Thursday. Musk endorsed the German party and is labeled now as a right-wing extremist by the German security services. Earlier this week, Norwegian Prime Minister Miles John Galler Storis expressed concern over Musk now involving himself in political issues outside the United States. So, as you can see, multiple countries are now starting to cite their concerns. That, yeah, Musk throwing his power and influence around like this, Um, yeah. How long before he gets slapped down? And then, of course, how long after he, gets that slap? How long then before he goes crying to Daddy Trump? Or at least using his influence then on Donald Trump to then get the US to respond in some way on that. You see the undue power and influence Elon Musk wields. That just should not happen. That is just everything, you know, against democracy itself. And I said before, and I'll keep on saying it, I don't care what your thoughts are on Keir Starmer, this Labour government. You should be appalled by this, that Musk thinks he can do this. And even if, this was a Conservative government, even if it was under Boris Johnson, wind the clocks back that far, I'd be saying, no, I'd be appalled. Even if it was like a plot to get rid of Boris Johnson in this way. No, I would still be appalled because that's not how democracy works. Boris Johnson was, again, whatever you may think of him, was elected through an election. As was, Keir Starmer and this government. And that's how things should be. That is democracy right in action. Elon Musk now is throwing a hissy fit because he doesn't like the fact he's getting called out on a ton of stuff on this, that he's involved himself in British politics, that he hasn't got a single goddamn clue what he's talking about when it comes to this type of stuff in British politics. So, regardless of your thoughts, regardless of anything like that, someone like Elon Musk should not be allowed to use his power and influence. And I will tell you now, I think we are very, very quickly closing on a point where someone is just going to go, right, enough is enough, and something will happen. And it will probably be in the form of regulation against Twitter. So, as always, let me know what you think down below. And of course, as always, click the like, click the share button on your way out, and we'll see you all next time.